Hello everybody, I'm Terry Stiles. Welcome to Oxford News This Week, and I am sitting here with my co-host, Jim Hughes.
I'm here with my hostess, with the mostest, Terry Stiles.
Thank you. In this week's news, A Hero Saves a Life. Is Aldi coming to town? And Oxford Township gains a new trustee. All that and more. The Oxford News begins right now. Last month, the Township of Oxford Board lost its newest member, Jeffrey Ontw, who resigned after only being elected last November, but it didn't take long to fill that seat. Paul Shapira was appointed from a pool of 6 other applicants. Shapiro brings almost 35 years of experience in the finance industry to the position as a commercial leader, private equity investor, turnaround consultant, and the founder and owner of Genesis Capital Advisors in Oxford. Outside of work, Shapira is a volunteer mentor in the Wildcat Club, Oxford Addison Youth Assistance Program connecting adult mentors with elementary school students. He says the Oxford community needs more unity and hopes to bring people together through his commitment to serving the board by diving in fully and giving 100% to the role. Jim?
Yes, an Aldi in Oxford, possibly. Well, it might just be happening. My mom's going to be happy. The Oxford Township Planning Commission recently voted to recommend a vacant lot on the southwest corner of Market Street and Lapeer Road to be rezoned VAQ-E LLC. Petitioners requesting the rezoning company spokesman Adam Stewart disclosed that if the rezoning goes through, the intention to build an Aldi grocery store. No formal site plan has been submitted yet to the Oxford Township official. Confirmed that nothing from Aldi has yet been submitted to the building department by rezoning the vacant lot. It will provide the extra feet allowance needed to contain the proposed size of a grocery store. Stewart says that if they are successful and their request, the company is in agreement with the lot seller to do a lot split to give part of the space to another store if the property is then again rezoned. A future site plan would address traffic flow issues. There are currently 13 other Aldi locations in Oakland County. Again, looking forward to that if it does make its way to Oxford, Terry.
Yeah. Well, the Charter Township of Oxford is blue and gold mostly. One veteran is hoping to turn the township purple. Darren, I think it's Hafeli. I might be saying that wrong, and if I am, I'm sorry. He is a 1996 Oxford graduate, serving in the U.S. Army from 2001 to 2013. Hafeli is inviting Purple Heart recipients and veterans to join them at a special moment during the next Board of Trustees meeting on June 11th, when the board will vote on a resolution declaring Oxford Township a Purple Heart community. This will allow Oxford to join the nationwide network of municipalities and counties that honor U.S. service members wounded or killed in combat by an act of international terrorism. Hafeli is hoping to fill the room with men and women who served and sacrificed. To him, the township's willingness to pass the resolution would mean a lot, not just personally, but to everyone who wore a uniform. The township has been working along with the members of the American Legion Post 108 and the North Oakland Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 334 or 334 to become a designated Purple Heart community. Wow, this is cool. We'll keep an eye on that story for you. Jim?
A recently new hero added to the Oxford ranks, recently awarded for his help in saving a life when noted driver John Comparoni noticed changes in his passenger speech, movement, and mental status. He did not hesitate. Comparoni had taken the rider to the medical facility earlier in the day for a scheduled appointment, but on the way home he actually noticed something was actually wrong. Called out to her and she didn't respond, and she noticed her face started to droop. He quickly turned around to take her back to the hospital, notifying noted dispatch so they could get the emergency department all prepared. A nurse called for assistance, and McLaren Oxford emergency team activated their stroke protocols. After a minimally invasive procedure to remove a clot from the patient's brain blood vessel, she was able to return home a few days later. For his swift action in medical emergency, his humanitarian spirit, Comparoni has presented with the Community Healthcare Hero Award from McLaren Oxford Emergency Department staff. Again, definitely catching that one in time. Terry.
Well, Oxford Bank, the oldest commercial bank in Oakland County, has some new technology. They recently got a makeover and is now home to cutting-edge technologies, contemporary design, and high-value customer service. The upgrades are designed to create a greater access to personal bankers, additional convenience, and speed of service. Additionally, with an expansive conference room on the main floor for community use, customers can meet comfortably with the professionals. The headquarters has provided banking service for almost 50 years, and the CEO, David Lamb, says Oxford Bank revamped the space based on the feedback from their customers. It seems like that's happening all over the place. Good for you guys.
13 counties across Michigan are earning over $1 million in grants to protect fish habitats. The Michigan Department of Natural Resources, alongside partner organizations, is supporting a variety of projects. The goals include creating healthier takes, streams with healthier fish populations, better habitats, and cleaner water. The funding comes from fisheries. The grant program matched with more than $250,000 from partners. That value shoots up to more than $1.4 million here in Oakland County. The grant recipient, this is the Clinton River Watershed Council, with nearly $50,000. The nonprofit organization will have the opportunity to improve connectivity and aquatic organism passage in the 3 Clinton River sub-watersheds. According to the resource specialist with the DNR's Fisheries Division, this project is critical to strengthening and maintaining the population of fish and other species. Again, looking forward to see what that nets. Terry.
Well, in our Behind the Lens segment this week, congratulations to the class of 2025. Oxford seniors have officially turned the page on this chapter in their lives. Just a few days before graduation, they kicked off a brand new tradition with the first ever Legacy Walk. In their caps and gowns, these seniors took a stroll down memory lane, literally, by visiting the elementary school that they started their educational careers in. How cool. Visiting with familiar faces and the new generation, these students capped off their school year and got ready to throw their caps at the official ceremony. How very cool is that?
I tell you, graduation's always a fun time, and
It
new
is.
spirit, and
Exciting.
the new adventures, and
Yeah.
it's just so it's hard to believe how fast it goes.
I know. These
I mean,
kids, they grow up so quickly. I ran into some people on the other side of the state at a restaurant. We started talking about where I came from. And they said, oh, I have a niece in Oxford, and my nephew played football.
Okay.
His name was Mike Gardner. And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. He played with my son. Well, that was like 20 years ago.
Right, yeah.
And it seemed like it was yesterday, but small world, and wow, it happens quickly. So do everything you can.
Exactly, no doubt. Good stuff there. In our last story today, Terry Stiles will talk about a grand opening for a grand cause. We know he has stuff online lined up for you. Dave Kenny has Auto Talk, Science in the News, and yes, I'll be in there for a little brief look at sports. You're watching Oxford News This Week.
We all have a type.
Maybe you know what your type is.
Maybe you don't.
But you have one. Am I your type?
You can be the type to save lives.
Military families often sacrifice precious time away from loved ones while serving our country. And for those with children, the separation can be especially difficult.
We were worried that with him leaving, that she would lose those connections with her dad.
Some of life's best moments happen between parents, children, and the pages of a good book. United Through Reading provides that connection.
You can watch your mom or dad read a book to you, and it almost feels like they're really there.
We ensure they remain a consistent, meaningful part of their children's lives, no matter the distance.
Just seeing Jacob recognize Daddy again after a long time just melted my heart.
And now, as we're facing greater isolation from our loved ones, United Through Reading is also available to veterans. Learn more about United Through Reading and download our free secure app at unitedthroughreading.org.
Welcome to this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and this story is taken from Automotive News. Cadillac launched the Vistic 3-row electric crossover for 2026 as a tech-forward entry into an emerging segment, offering more robust driver assist system and the brand's first augmented reality head-up display. The new head-up display on the Vistic uses holographic technology developed by Envisix, a company backed by General Motors through its GM Ventures arm for the augmented reality experience. The technology projects driving information onto the road in front of the driver, including in navigation directions and signals an approaching vehicle. GM's Super Cruise hands-free driver assist technology also has new capabilities, including deeper integration with Google's Maps through the 33-inch touchscreen. Super Cruise can now change lanes to ensure the vehicle is in the correct lane based on driving directions and automatically activates the hands-free system once it reaches a compatible road. GM also used software in the design of its road noise cancellation system shared with the Lyriq midsize electric crossover to prevent the additional weight that comes with packing acoustic materials that block sound, says Drew Mitchell, lead development engineer on the Vistic. Standard on all trim levels, the system uses chassis accelerometers and in-cabin microphones in the cabin to pick up and counter low-frequency noise. It's a great balance between the mechanical solution, acoustic material, and glass, with this combination of software and electronic components to enable effectively noise controlling or canceling headphones for your car, Mitchell told reporters at a media drive event. The Vistic offers available Dolby Atmos, a 23-speaker AKG studio audio system, and new entertainment apps, including Amazon Music and Prime Video, Cadillac said. An intelligent climate control system only heats and cools seats with occupants to avoid drawing down the vehicle's battery range. The Vistic Cadillac rounds out its EV crossover lineup that now includes compact, midsize, and large models. The brand has called it a baby Escalade, slotting it between, or that is to say below, the electric Escalade IQ full-size SUV and the upcoming longer Escalade IQL. The Vistic is sold in 4 trim levels: Luxury Sport, Premium Luxury, and Platinum, and starts at about $79,090 with shipping. All 4 trims have standard dual-motor all-wheel drive for 615 horsepower and 650 pounds-feet of torque, and an EPA estimated range of 305 miles from its 102 kilowatt power battery. The first Vistics were delivered in March, said Brad France, Cadillac's global marketing director, and EVs now make up about 20% of Cadillac's portfolio, he said. That figure is expected to grow to about 35% by the end of the year as production volume grows, he said, setting the stage for Cadillac to become the industry's top-selling EV luxury brand. Cadillac is phasing out more of its internal combustion engine lineup, and U.S. output of the compact XT4 ended this year, and the 3-row XT6, the gasoline-powered equivalent to the Vistic, will leave the lineup at the end of the year. Target Vistic buyers need a third row but aren't able to move into an Escalade IQ, France said, and are more urban and affluent than XT6 buyers. This opens the door for some new business because, frankly, if you need an EV third row SUV, there aren't a lot of choices out there in the luxe space, he said. That's where we think Vistic has some real clear space here for the next at least 18 months. GM is expected to report the first U.S. Vistic sales when it's reporting second quarter sales in July. Well, that's it for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television.
Welcome back to Oxford News This Week. Welcome to spring postseason with the Wildcats. Again, a lot of the sports finishing up for the year. Oxford High School is actually hosting several postseason matchups across the variety of sports. OHS will be the home for the softball MHSAA District 31 for the next few weeks. The district includes Clarkston, Lake Orion, Oxford, Waterford, Kettering, and Waterford-Mott. Again, a good time to come out and watch some softball, whether you are from Oxford or not. They do have a good setup out there. And in baseball, they'll be hosting at Oxford as well, the district consisting of Clarkston, Fenton, Grand Blanc, Holly, and Oxford. Again, all these matchups are all on the same day for both sports with a pre-district game on the 27th. Semifinals and the finals on the 31st. Finally, Oxford High School will be the site for the MHSAA Girls Soccer District 6 game. The first round of the playoffs will be scattered at various home school sites with semifinals and the finals at Wildcat Stadium. All of the MHSAA postseason events are ticketed events. Tickets can be then purchased with a card and Apple Wallet. No cash is involved in this. For additional spectator information, visit oxfordathletics.org. Again, you'll find out more information, which does say that with all these districts coming to Oxford, that they are very happy with the fields and playing surfaces. Oxford Athletics Facebook, 2 lacrosse players take home awards, congratulating junior Miley McDevitt and senior Hunter Whitebort on being named Oxford Student Athletes of the Month for the month of April. McDevitt had earned 40 goals, 10 assists, and 50 points overall already in the season with 31 ground balls, 7 forced turnovers. She was able to lead the way for a strong season for the team through her strong teamwork and success. Also, the varsity girls lacrosse team finished second in the league. Whitboard, I should say, has earned over 30 goals so far on the season, landing on the boys team with a shooting percentage of 50%. He has helped the boys to a 12-5 overall record in the OAA White League Championship and first in the program since 2019. Congratulating both those athletes in all their efforts with the Oxford sports. Again, watch for sports coming up. We'll be covering senior softball again. Also trying to get the U.S. PBL back on the air here at OCTV. You'll see some sports throughout the year on OCTV. Make sure to dial us up. Tell us what you like. Again, we like bringing that to you on our channel. Coming back, I know Terry has the last story. Dave Kenny has one more segment. You're watching this version of Oxford News This Week.
Hi, I'm Peyton Manning, and I'm partnering with the American Red Cross this year to tackle blood shortages. Giving blood's important because every 2 seconds, someone actually needs blood, and unfortunately, only like 3% of the U.S. population donates. So we have to step up to give and to make sure there's plenty of blood available for those in need. Visit redcrossblood.org to get in the game and make an appointment to give.
What is dementia? Is it the same as Alzheimer's? What is vascular dementia, Lewy body, FTD, TBI, and CTE? If someone has memory loss, does that mean they have dementia? Millions of Americans ask these questions every day. I did too, and I learned. My wife Ginny developed dementia. I didn't know what to do or what was coming next. I'm Kevin Jameson, volunteer and president of the Dementia Society of America. I'm excited to offer you a free guide to understanding dementia. It's filled with facts about dementia, care planning, how doctors can help, and ways to keep your brain as healthy as possible. The Dementia Society of America is a national nonprofit, and we're ready to answer your questions. You want to live life to the fullest. I know that. Ginny did too, and I'm confident that we can help. Get your copy of the guide. Go to 1-800-DEMENTIA.org or call 1-800-DEMENTIA. Thank you.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and this story is taken from New Scientist. More than 24 of the biggest cities in the U.S. are sinking, which could affect thousands of buildings and millions of people. The problem has been reported before, particularly in coastal areas. But by using satellite technology, which sends radar signals towards Earth's surface and measures the time it takes for them to bounce back, scientists have found out that it affects 25 out of 28 of the country's biggest cities. By comparing multiple images taken over time from the same area, we can detect tiny vertical movements of the ground down to a few millimeters per year, says team member Ontw at Virginia Tech. It's like taking a high-resolution time-lapse of Earth's surface and watching how it rises or sinks over time. Fort Worth, Houston, and Dallas exhibited the highest subsidence rates of all the large cities, exceeding 4 millimeters per year on the average. For New York, Chicago, Houston, Columbus, Seattle, and Denver, the average subsidence was greater than 2 millimeters per year. Houston, the fastest sinking city out of the 28 most populated U.S. cities, has 42% of its land area subsiding faster than 5 millimeters per year and 12% subsiding faster than 10 millimeters per year, according to the researchers. They say that most of the subsidence is caused by groundwater extraction. However, in some cities, such as New York, Philadelphia, and Washington, D.C., the sinking is primarily caused by glacial isostatic adjustment. During the last ice age, these areas were covered by massive ice sheets. The sheer weight of the ice pushed down the Earth's crust like sitting on a memory foam mattress, says Shirzai. When the ice melted thousands of years ago, the pressure lifted and the ground began to slowly rebound, he says. But this rebound isn't uniform, says Shirzai. In some areas like the U.S. East Coast and Midwest, i.e. Detroit, the land is still sinking rather than rising because they're near the forebulge, a zone that has been pushed up by the weight of the ice nearby and is now collapsing. In Seattle, Portland, and San Francisco, plate tectonics is probably to blame for the subsidence. We need to start treating subsidence like the slow-moving disaster it is, says Shirzai. The scientists also found that some cities are sinking at different rates in different spots, or sinking in some places and rising in others. This uneven movement creates angular distortion and stress, potentially leading to cracks in walls and foundations, misaligned windows and doors, or worse, structural failure, says Shirzai. Jesse Kearse at Kyoto University in Japan has used similar satellite data to show that many New Zealand cities are also subsiding. A key challenge that remains for the geophysics community is how to attribute the observed trends to specific causes, whether they be anthropogenic or natural geological processes, she says. Well, I hear that Detroit is on the list. Well, that's it for this edition of Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny.
Military families often sacrifice precious time away from loved ones while serving our country. And for those with children, the separation can be especially difficult.
We were worried that with him leaving, that she would lose those connections with her dad.
Some of life's best moments happen between parents, children, and the pages of a good book. United Through Reading provides that connection.
You can watch your mom or dad read a book to you, and it almost feels like they're really there.
We ensure they remain a consistent, meaningful part of their children's lives, no matter the distance.
Just seeing Jacob recognize Daddy again after a long time just melted my heart.
And now, as we're facing greater isolation from our loved ones, United Through Reading is also available to veterans. Learn more about United Through Reading and download our free secure app at unitedthroughreading.org.
When a crisis hits, close to home and across the globe, nonprofits are on the front lines, ready to serve.
Keep coming.
The demand for charitable services has skyrocketed, and nonprofits are rising to meet the needs. Healing, nurturing, rescuing, honoring, protecting, caring, inspiring. The work of philanthropic organizations of all sizes, across all missions, has never been more important. And it's donors and volunteers like you who make all this possible. Thank you. Together, we change the world. The Nonprofit Alliance.
And in our last story this week, a grand opening for a grand cause. The Hannah St. Juliana Memorial Garden officially opens on June 1st. Hannah's Garden is located at Seymour Lake Township Park, and the garden honors the memory of Hannah St. Juliana, along with Madison Baldwin, Tate Mayer, and Justin Schilling. All the way back in November 2022, the Hannah St. Juliana Memorial Fund was founded with Fork County Community Foundation by the Teens family. One of the very first projects was the creation of the garden space, a place for the community to remember the 4 students lost. Each section of the garden will give a space for family members to incorporate items that remind them of their student. It's almost 2 years since the garden's groundbreaking ceremony. The grand opening is only possible thanks to the help from volunteers, donors, and all the support and love from the community. And it just keeps going, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, we got to thank the Fork County Community Foundation, who just helps Oxford all the time.
They're
and
amazing.
Of course, and then this is going to be a place for people to forget, or reflect, not forget, but reflect.
Right.
I tell you, as I say, you start to think about, how time goes by fast. And,
Yeah, right.
I mean, the memory of those students, and a place to, I don't know, I guess come and heal, I guess.
Yeah, right. Well, that's a long healing process, that's for sure. And that's the graduating class this year. We're freshmen.
I had heard that too. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like this is the last year. So
yeah, it's beautiful. They've been working very hard out there, planting and rocks and everything else. So please come to Seymour Lake Park and have a look at that on June 1st.
Exactly.
I know they're going to have a ceremony. It's going to be very nice. And we will cover it at OCTV if you cannot make it on June 1st. But come out anyhow and just relax.
Or even if you're in the park for anything, maybe stop by and take a look at what they've got going there, and maybe, say a prayer or something,
Yep.
Say a very, as I say, a moving moment, community coming together to hopefully heal those that need to be healed.
Right.
Without that, I guess we're going to say goodbye for another edition of Oxford News This Week. Anything you want to add?
Nope, we're good.
OCTV actually can be viewed right on Spectrum Charter Channel 191, Channel 99 on the AT&T UVerse system. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, the Amazon Fire Stick, and the Roku app as well. If you have a show idea, or maybe you'd like to be one of our volunteers, we'd love to have you. OCTV, you can contact our office at 248-628-9658. Ask for Terry or Dave. Special thank you to our producer and director extraordinaire. His name is Kyle Snage. News writer Allison Miller, and station manager right next to me, as always, Terry Stiles. For everyone here at OCTV, I'm Jim Hughes. I hope you have a safe week. I invite you back next time. And again, as a group, we will take a look at Oxford News This Week.
Take care.